Canelita. Oh, yeah, I want to do my food. Retocar, huh? Uh-huh. Let's see, I'll do my background. Oh no, pantalla verde. Is that what it is? I thought there were options for my background. There we go. Hey, I like that one. Ya lo estoy haciendo. Pero estoy esperando. Buenas. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Welcome to this live stream of the CO visit. Niñas? Niñas? I want to show you my puppies, how they've grown. So we just got our puppies vaccinated and dewormed and all of that. So they're all good to go. Canelita, Osita. I think they'll come. Canelita, Osita. Here they come. Osita, Canelita, Osita, Osita, Osita. Here's Osita. Osita. Here's Osita. Osita. Oh, gee. Gee. Say hello. This is Osita. Osita. She's little bear. Little bear. Osita. You say hello. Say hello to everybody. Welcome to the CO Visit live stream. Osita, Osita. So I just wanted to show everybody our little puppies. This is Osita. She's so loving with me. She so likes to cuddle, likes to be with me. So Osita is one of the puppies that we kept for us. So she's gonna live with us now. So we've got Mama, and Osita was one of her puppies, and then there's one other one I'm gonna show you guys here. So we're gonna wait for a few more people to show up here. So I hope everyone's doing well today. So I'm gonna speak about a couple of topics. Osita. Yeah, so I hope everyone's doing well. And I'm going to talk about a few of the topics that I've been covering the last few days about the organization and mental health and things like that. So talk about that a little bit, and I'll tell you that one of the best ways to deal with mental health is having a pet. They're definitely. Oh, she wants to go. Okay, bye. So that's one of them. You guys, my other one too. Having pets helps a lot. They're a good distraction, and they're just innocent, and they're so simple as far as their emotions and hi, happy thoughts, how are you doing? That one that was just there is Osita. That's little bear. Osita, she's a girl. So Canelita, there's one more. I'll show you the other one. We have two puppies that our dog birthed. Canelita, see if she comes. And so the dogs are just so pure with their love and their loyalty and everything else. It's impossible not to feel happy when you have a dog. So Canelita, I'm calling her. Hopefully she should come. So anyway, just to kind of, today I'll give you guys just a little bit. I just wanted to talk kind of group therapy for myself. I stayed home today from work, and yes, they are happy. Absolutely. Yeah, and that's one of those things when I get up in the morning and I come home from work and they're there and wagging their tails and jumping on me, and they're just so happy, and they're so excited to see you, when you come. And but I didn't go to work today, and it was just one of those days where Um, I felt so tired, so tired. And there's those moments when it's just like, it's just like I feel like I can't face the day. It's one of those days. And I get them frequently. Sometimes I'm stronger than others, but not so much today. My favorite gay streamer. Well, I mean, okay, I'm not gay, but that's okay. If I make you feel being true to yourself, well, then good for you. I'm really glad about that. Okay, I'm really glad. But we're going to stick to the topic here. Okay, so all that kind of stuff, that'd be a topic for another day, my friend. Okay, Canelita. Hopefully my other dog will come and I can show you her too, my other puppy. Canelita. Oh, there's Canelita. Here's Canelita. Oh, here's Canelita. Here's my other one. Oh, my other doggy. Hello, wait. Sorry. Here's Canelita. Hold on. Just want to show you. Let him see you. Here's Canelita. Say hello. Say hello. This is Canelita, which is cinnamon. Say hello. She's like, nah, I'm not having it. She's not having it today. So this is Cinnamon. This is our other little puppy. Yes. Oh, yes. Give me kisses. Yeah. So this is our other little puppy. So she's there. She's gonna say hi to everybody. Say hi. Give me kisses. You want to give me kisses? Yes. Give me kisses. Okay. All right. Goodbye. I'm gonna put you down now. Okay. Oh, okay. So anyway, yeah, they're so sweet. They're so nice. So anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. So stayed home, and so it was kind of I guess you could say a textbook example was on the video that I made about the organization and mental health, the blind leading the blind, that video. And there was a comment this morning, and this comment was exactly what I'm talking about. This guy said, basically his comment was that I was intentionally covering up the fact that the Bible says in Isaiah, whatever, that illness will be done away with. And that's the hope that Jehovah's Witnesses talk about and stuff like that. And I'm just like, okay, first of all, the video is not about the Bible. We're not talking about that. Number two, so basically what he's saying is, and this is the mentality of the organization. And then this is what the culture pushes on the level of the organization. That because the Bible says that at some future time, illness is going to be done away with, so you're just supposed to put up with it. Whatever your illness might be, your sickness, your mental health, just deal with it because it's going to be done away with soon. And I said, that's so ridiculous. That way of thinking is just absurd. So in other words, what you're saying is that since someday the Bible says illness will be done away with, right now you're not supposed to like look for medical help for your illnesses. So I said, so if you have cancer, for example, you're just going to sit there and suffer and die instead of looking for medical treatment because the Bible says that someday illness will be done away with. Well, what about right now? What about your life right now? We don't have to suffer. But according to Jehovah's Witnesses, yes. They're just like, well, just put up with it. Just deal with it because, you're supposed to be happy. Because the Bible says very soon illness is going to be done away with. And I'm like, yeah, well, when? Because this has been told to us for decades and decades and decades and decades. Very soon, very soon, very soon. And from very soon to very soon, all of a sudden, you're of old age now, and you've been suffering, waiting for illness to be done away with, and yet it's not. There's still illness, and we still suffer. We get sick. There are treatments out there. There's medicine. There are ways that a person can suffer less and have a decent lifestyle, level of life right now. And I told him, I said, you see that person, I said, you're part of the problem. That's the kind of thinking, that thinking of, well, just deal with it, put up with it, be happy. It's going to be done away with soon. That's the kind of reasoning that then leads, let's say, an elder, when he sees you suffering, like was in my case, to tell you, when is this going to stop? They get fed up with it. They're tired of your problems. When are you going to stop whining? When are you going to stop? The Bible says that it's going to be done away with soon. You should be happy. And you see, that's exactly, in my case, what pushed me out of the organization. Because of that lack of empathy, that lack of compassion towards other people suffering. Telling people that someday illnesses and suffering and all that will be done away with is not a cure-all. It's like, oh, well, great, nice. That sounds really nice. I really hope so. I can guard that hope for the future. But in the meantime, we're here, we're on this planet, we're suffering. And I need help now. I need relief now, not someday. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard the song by Creedence Clearwater Revival, Someday Never Comes. That's the big secret. There is no someday. Someday is today. Today is the only thing that's real right now. So if we have the options and we have the ability to live a decent life now without suffering, why would you not do it? And that's really hypocritical, because even Jehovah's Witnesses, you're not going to just suffer just because you think someday the end is coming. Someday God will do away with suffering. Well, okay, great. But, if I break a bone right now, I'm going to go to the doctor, right? I'm going to go to the hospital and get it fixed. Or are you just going to sit there, let your bone grow all crooked and maybe be, handicapped, and just say, well, Jehovah will fix it someday? It's absurd, but that's what that guy is saying. That was his that snide way of making comments that only Jehovah's Witnesses can do, with that little tone that they have, But that's the kind of absurd, religious, fanatical thinking. And that's also what allows people to make such radical decisions with blood, for example. When a person makes a decision to reject blood, even though it will save their life, and as a consequence, they die, or they let someone else in their family die because they say, someday Jehovah will bring that person back. Well, why would you cut your life off prematurely? Why would you do that? Is that fair? The pain and grief and everything else that you're going to put your family through because of the someday, it's really amazing. But this is the way that people in this cult think, and they really believe this. They really believe it. The funny thing is, like I said, it's hypocritical because if you're sick, you're going to go to the hospital. You're going to go to a doctor, even Jehovah's Witnesses. So what that does is reveals their selfishness. You see, what it comes down to in the end is they just don't want to be bothered with other people's illnesses. Don't inconvenience me. Don't make me uncomfortable with your issues. That's what it's all about. That's always been, ever since I've been a little kid, I always sensed that about the congregation and the society in general. It's everything is good until you start inconveniencing people with your problems. Then it's like, whoa, yeah. And they set that up because they always tell us about, we don't want to be a burden on the congregation. Except when, for example, let's say when a CO comes around, then all of his issues we have to take on as the congregation. We have to pay for his food and his travel and medical bills and things like that. But when it's a rank and file member, don't be a burden on the congregation. Just like what Jesus taught, right? So if any of you are wondering what my background is here, since I teach art in high school, this is a famous painting in the style that's called Fauvism, which was had a little bit of pointillism, and later on it inspired Picasso with Cubism, for example. This is from Matisse, the French painter. So Fauvism is characterized by they're not like very realistic paintings, but they have some like exaggerated features, very strong colors, uses lots of geometrical shapes, pointillism, because you can see some of the painting style here where there's little points of color. So I put that as my background right now. So anyway, so those things, it's just amazing that people within a religious group like this, how little compassion and empathy they actually have for people. And yet they talk about love all the time. And what they most talk about is what they least have, which was, so I agree. It's so hard dealing with the sickness in any form. To have empathy, one really has to experience it. Yeah. And most people need at some stage in life a true friend. Exactly. Right. Happy. That's exactly it. Part of that is maybe going through it yourself. And even if not, I think we can still have compassion and empathy, knowing that somebody doesn't feel well and is suffering. And I think the absolute worst thing you can tell a person is that, well, that's, the Bible says that that's going to be done away with in the future. Yes, everybody knows that, but that hasn't come yet. So what are we doing now to help somebody? What are we doing now with our words to give somebody comfort? So it's a tough thing. It's a really tough thing. And you know, it's like one of the hardest things I would say to deal with when it comes to hoping for any empathy and compassion is when it comes to mental health. That's one of the least understood ailments that exists. And it's one of those things where if a person doesn't have it, it's really hard to, for some reason, it just, you know, and people think that the answer is just, oh, you're supposed to just, you know, toughen up and suck it up, you know, and keep busy and do this and do that, go out in service, pray more. Yeah. It's like today, you know, there's some days where I find myself contemplating what French philosopher Albert Camus talked about in one of his books when he said, I don't know whether to kill myself or have a cup of coffee. And so each day I contemplate that philosophical question. And the decision that I make is to reach for the coffee. Yeah. Camus, in that book, he was contemplating the greatest philosophical question, whether life is worth living or not. And he talked about that the height of human ego was manifested in people that made the decision to take their own lives, because by doing that, they were essentially claiming to have the answer to that question. They were answering it. They were saying, no, it's not worth living, so I'm going to take my life. And he said that's impossible. It's impossible to do that. Well, I don't know. I mean, you know, I think that if you really look at this life that we live, it seems like to me the insanity of this existence, the human existence, is it that a person goes crazy in a sane world? Do we go insane in a sane world? Or are we actually going sane in an insane world? So, in other words, are crazy people actually the sane ones? When someone finally loses it, goes crazy, isn't that the most natural response ultimately to this existence? It seems like to me what's insane are the lives that we tried to lead. Working and earning money, material things, trying to get recognition, trying to get fame, all these things, trying to accomplish things, goals, when we know that in the end, we're going to die and it's all over. That's it. Anything we do in the end really, I mean, ultimately, in the long run, has no meaning in the end. And yet that's what we strive for. So is that what we consider sanity? Or is the sane person really like the hermit who is withdrawn completely from society and lives alone in a shack up in the mountains? Maybe that person's got it figured out. Maybe they're really the sane ones. I don't know. Just thinking today, all kinds of thoughts going through my head. But one thing I do know for sure is that in the world, the world is seriously lacking in compassion and empathy towards people who are suffering. We see the problem of addictions. We see the problems of mental health, homelessness, all these things that are plaguing mankind all over the world. And most people just kind of don't want to be bothered with it. Politicians certainly aren't concerned about it. Kind of like George Carlin always said, you know, if the whole reason why we don't ever see a war on homelessness is because there's no money to be made from it. Nobody stands to benefit. If they did, the streets would clean up really fast. That's what it all comes down to, isn't it? In the end, it's all about money. So yeah, so I would like to hear your guys' comments and what's going on in your worlds. How are you feeling? What's going on? Where are you watching from? Comment section's been pretty quiet. Don't be shy. Don't be a silent spectator. Participate. It's like I tell my students, don't just sit there and watch. Participate. Be participative. That's the way that you really get something out of the, in this case, the live stream or out of the class. Speak your mind. Say hi. Tell me where you're listening from. Why don't we try that? All the people that are in the chat right now, looks like I have 5 people. Where are you watching from? You can put don't have to put a specific town or anything like that, but a region or a country. Let me know so I get a little bit of an idea of where you're tuning in. That would be nice to know. I'll wait. So yeah, it's a complicated existence. All of us have our demons that we have to fight with of one form or another. Everybody does. Or illness or physical malady or something, or we have to take care of somebody that does. One or the other, we all have a cross to bear, right, in this life. So it's tough. Jesus cured and fed people before he gave them good news. Yeah, from the UK. Okay, thank you, Happy. I appreciate that. UK. Greetings to the UK. Got lots of viewers from that area. Yeah, lots of viewers. So greetings to your island. Appreciate that. And yes, he did. Yes, he did. And his curing people was not conditional. It was not conditioned on somebody listening to the good news or accepting it or becoming his follower or anything like that. Some people did, some didn't, but he cured them. There were no strings attached. Far cry from the Jehovah's Witnesses' conditional love. The love that Jehovah's Witnesses give you is always conditioned. There's always a string attached. There's always a but behind it, right? But not Jesus. There were no strings attached to his message or to his love or anything else. Canelita. Yep. So anybody else want to let me know where you're watching from? So we got the UK. Osita, Canelita. Let me know what's going on. You guys being naughty? You being naughties? Huh? So I also want to send my greetings out. Greetings out, my hey, you be good. I'm gonna give you a spanking. To my viewers, subscribers, over down in, well, I should say up in from here. Jamaica's north of us. Up in the island of Jamaica, they're getting hit pretty hard right now by Hurricane Melissa. So I just want to let anybody from Jamaica, sending our thoughts and prayers out to you guys up there, and hoping that you pull through it and pull together and help each other out. Yeah. Yeah, that's the whole thing, Happy. Exactly. Right. That's, people got to pull together and help each other. You know, it's not the time to be preaching to people or offering tracts. It's a time to work. It's a time to, you know, take people in, feed each other, help each other out, you know, show that you love your neighbor. And remember what Jesus taught us. Very, very good teaching is to remember that your neighbor is not another person that looks like you necessarily. Neighbor is just a general term for basically everybody, regardless of their skin color, their ethnic origin, religion, political views, nationality, language, even your enemies. Those are your neighbors. So when there are moments when people are in need, when people are suffering, we need to set all of that aside and just do the right thing. Do the right thing. Help people out. So yeah, so they're getting pounded up there. We were worried here in Honduras that was coming towards us for a while there. Usually when the storms that come off of the West African coast, they come across the Atlantic, when they come down really, really low towards the south of us, like right over the top of South America, you know, really, really, really low down there, that's when there's a really good chance of it coming to Central America. And this one did. So we were really worried that it was tracking towards us. And then right when it got kind of like parallel with Jamaica, then it just stopped. The storm literally just parked itself and just sat there, and everyone's like, what's it going to do? Nobody knew, right? Is it going to keep going west? Is it going to turn north? Is it going to, you know, and well, then all of a sudden it started turning north, and Jamaica, Haiti, part of Dominican Republic, and Cuba is going to get it later. So after it's right now going through Jamaica, it's going to pass through part of Cuba as it goes up the east coast of the US. And gets pulled into the North Atlantic and that area. So yeah, our prayers definitely, we're thinking about our friends and even subscribers to this channel that are from Jamaica. So it's all we can do really from here, just, you know, thinking about you guys and hope that you pull through it. It's scary. Hurricanes are very scary. Definitely. Yep. So anyway, well, I'm glad to see everybody that's connected here today. And hope everything is going well wherever you are at. Hey, Saint Copilot, how are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Well, we're just talking a little bit about everything today. So I was showing people my puppies, and we're talking about mental health and the organization and some of my own struggles. And now we're talking about weather, and we're all over the place. Just to just to chat today. I was talking about my background here. This is a Fauvism style painting from Matisse. Yeah, I saw that too. Yep, and they've been, that area over there, the Middle Eastern area has been getting a lot of earthquakes, sadly, and they definitely do not have the infrastructure to handle that kind of stuff. Yeah, I know, Saint. Yeah, we're just having a conversation, and right now the chat's been pretty quiet, so I've just been rambling about going from one thing to another. So if you have any topics you want to throw out there, or anything you're dealing with right now, or something, please do help me out here. Throw me a line, guys. Help me out with topics. Otherwise, I just ramble and ramble. So yeah. So right now, as I said, we'll be kind of watching here coming up in February of next year. February 4th through 6th is the Supreme Court hearing in Norway with the Jehovah's Witness issue there with the appeal, to see if that can get overturned by the Supreme Court. So that's coming up. So that'll be something to look for, and kind of keep on your agenda and keep an eye out, like on the internet, to see what comes of that. Another thing we can keep an eye on is Japan. Japan's kind of, they're also looking into the witnesses and kind of tightening the bolts down on them as well. So absolutely. Absolutely happy. Yes. Yes, it does. Yep. And a lot of times that's what a person needs. They don't necessarily need a solution. They just need somebody to listen and know that they're doing it out of, genuine love and care. And, sometimes we think that we have to fix everything, or that, sometimes maybe we don't want to listen because, I don't know what to do. Well, just listen. Just listen. Okay. You don't have to know what to do or have a solution necessary. Just listen. Okay. It's not that hard. And that's a remedy that's free. And you don't always have to have all the answers. But at least giving a person the time and just saying, hey, you know what? I'm willing to listen, and maybe I might be able to offer some pointers, or I might know what to do in a certain situation, or I might not, but at least, hey, I'll listen, and maybe we can just come up with something together, or maybe you just need a hug. That's it. Those things don't cost a dime. So absolutely, that's very true. Listening is also a skill that not everybody possesses. It takes some skill to know how to listen and be an active listener. That's true. That's a good question, co-pilot. I'm just going to say thank you, Happy. I appreciate that. I've received it. Thank you for your virtual hug, and back to you as well. Thank you. Saying co-pilot, that's a great question. And I'm going to say offhand, I have no idea. I'll look into it though. That's a really good question. I don't know what became of that, because for a while there, that was pretty out there in the news and everything, and then it just kind of died off. I'll have to look up some info on that and see what's going on. I'll go over maybe today, later on. I'll go over to the PA DA's webpage, or Attorney General's webpage too, and see if there's any updates, see what's going on. Or if I'm lazy, I'll just Google it and it'll come up on AI, hopefully. So, hey, Canelita. Canelita. Yeah, good question though. Very good question. Canelita. Canelita. ¿Qué está haciendo? ¿Qué está haciendo? Oh, I'll show you some of you didn't see one of my puppies. Canelita. Canelita. Oi, 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 oi. This is my therapy right here. Canelita. No, 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 no. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, and that's Canelita, and this is Osita. Osita. Hello, Osita. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we got two. We got two pups. Canelita is the brown one, and this is Osita. Osita is white and black. Yes, yes, yes. So cute. So cute. Okay. Whoops, 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 whoops. Sorry, sorry, sorry. I almost dropped her. So as I was saying at the beginning, one of the best therapies for anybody that suffers from any type of mental health disorder is a pet. Pets are wonderful. And they seem to have a connection with people. Hey, safe space, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. Pets are just, they really have a connection with human beings because of the energy. Hey, Born at JW, how are you doing? Welcome. Thank you for being here. So if you have anybody that has any mental health struggles, get yourself thank you, Born at JW. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was a hard topic. That was a hard topic, but it's the reality. Yeah. So, but yeah, animals are a great therapy. Because they have kind of a sixth sense when it comes to energy, and they just seem to know when, if you're having a hard time, and they're just there. They'll come and lay with your, and it just, that unconditional love that they give you is unmatched. And that whatever happens, your pets are always going to be happy to see you, and they're always there. And so it's something that has helped me a lot. So that's a good thing. But yeah, the last video that I made, those are just some of those things that doesn't get talked about a lot. I think that there's, and rightfully so. I mean, I'm not saying that they shouldn't, but there's so much energy and focus being put into seeing the watchtower go down, and what's going on in Norway, and what's going on here and there, and it seems like we're kind of forgetting about one of the most important issues is us. How are we doing? And what are we going through, and what help do we need, and things like that. I'm one of the people, and I've always had this viewpoint. It might not be the most popular one in the XJW community, but I'm generally of the thought that you shouldn't get too overly excited thinking about the organization falling apart or disappearing. I don't think it will. There are far worse cults out there than the Jehovah's Witnesses, and they're still there. Okay, so I think they're going to change. I think they're going to keep changing their business model and their belief system, but they're always going to be there. So I don't think we should put too much energy into that and all this activism and stuff like that. We should be helping each other. We should be talking about our struggles and help others to get through their journey as XJWs. And yes, Born, you're absolutely right. We have been tattooed here and here. And that's not one you can erase. Those don't go away. There is no laser for that. What's imprinted into your brain when you're a child, that does not go away. It can get better. We can learn to live with it. We can little by little start to change certain patterns and habits with time and with practice, but it's always there. And I think as soon as we come to that realization and accept it, then we're much more equipped to deal with it and fight it and help others. That's what it's all about. So let's not forget about all of our brothers and sisters in this community, and remember that there are people going through it. There are people struggling, and people that have lots of traumas, and we need to focus on that as well. Yeah, absolutely happy. That could be arranged as well. Mm-hmm. Yep. Estaba cerca eso. Absolutely. That might be something we could set up sometime and maybe have a little bit smaller group, but actually see each other on a Zoom meeting or something. That would be nice. ¿Qué fue, Alan? ¿Qué es eso, Alan? After the body decomposes, the tattoo remains. I have tats and I can still function, living my best life today. The pain in the past taught me something. Yes, absolutely. And I am too. I think, I definitely have, some residual effects from definitely, and it's affecting me and my mental health. I'm struggling with, but I'm much, much better now and dealing with what I'm dealing with than if I would have been a witness still. And Copilot says, yeah, JW upbringing can leave long-lasting effects. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely it can. And it does. I'm definitely looking to focus this channel on XJWs that need support. You're 100% correct, Colin. We should focus on supporting each other regardless of where we are since we left. Yes, absolutely. And like I said, I'm not saying all of the things that we tackle in the community are important. CSA is important. The activism against shunning is important. About how they handle the vaccines, about blood, about all of those things. Yes. But also, we need to be looking at the mental health of our community, because it's a very real problem. I would say the majority of us probably have some effects that we're dealing with. Maybe a lot of people are just not diagnosed. Yes, that's true, Born. Absolutely. And I would say to everybody, get yourself checked out. If you're feeling something, it's always good at least to rule something out. And when I got recently, well, back in May, as many of you may know, I was very open about it and very public about it. I had a suicide attempt back in May, and that was the first time that I actually got a diagnosis that put a name to what I was suffering since I was a teenager. And then started a medication and things like that. Up until now, I've had none of that. So, knowledge is power. Remember that. Knowledge is power. And the more you know about something, the more you understand yourself and what it is that you're feeling and going through, then you're better equipped to deal with it and to fight it. So do all you can to learn about what's going on the inside, and don't feel afraid to, get professional help. Got to get rid of those stigmas, get rid of those complexes. And if you need to look for help, do it, Yes, absolutely, Born. Yep, you're right. And Happy, you're right as well. We're just damaged. We're exhausted. Magi, I am not in Islam. I'm not Muslim. So stop being an ass. Okay? Don't make assumptions if you don't know about something. I'm not a part of Islam. I never have been. I never will be. All right? So I'm glad we cleared that up. All right? I always got to be a troll. Never fails. Hey, Jay, how's it going? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. Not much. We're just talking a little bit about everything. So if you have anything you want to talk about, tell us what's going on in your world, what you're feeling, what you're going through. Give us a topic, throw it out there. World is full of potential friends, real friends that we choose for ourselves. Yes, absolutely. And the great thing about friends is you get to choose. It's your choice. So you can be selective. What's going on with you, Jay? How you been? Welcome. Yeah, I'm gonna tell all of the trolls. Topic Borg 2026. Yeah. Any trolls out there? If you're gonna come in and troll, you're welcome, but you have to pay a fee. Super chat. Okay. Pay a super chat, and then you can troll all you want. That'll make them leave. That makes them shut up every single time. I have these people come in they come in the chat and they want like a shout out. They're like, hey, shout out my name or something. I'm like, okay, I will, but send me a super chat. And then they disappear. It's like, oh, okay. Hey, nothing's free in this world. Cedric Joseph, hello. Anybody know how I can change my chat name back to Born JW? Well, yeah, if you go into your main page, okay, go into your main page where you have your account, right? And then up at the top, there's the little wheel or the little pencil for editing your channel. And there's two things that you have to do. You change your channel name, and then down below that, there's the @ and then whatever your name is right now. So you have to change that to whatever it is now, which is Born AJW to Born JW. And it will tell you if it is available or not. Yep, I got you, Jay. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I understand that you've got to definitely have a special situation there. That's not easy. Not easy at all. It's CJ. Okay. CJ, thanks for the clarification. Did you deal with anyone being DF before you left? Yes, I did. Yep, of course. Quite a few times over the course of my life. Yep. There were people, in my original congregation that were disfellowshipped, and we had to avoid them. And yeah, it happened many times. And when I was when I was serving down here in Honduras too, it happened. You know, so that was a pretty frequent occurrence. So yeah, you deal with it a lot. Yeah, and my hometown congregation in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, which since was sold and is now in a little town called Cohasset, Minnesota. That's right outside of Grand Rapids. So there's actually not a Kingdom Hall right in Grand Rapids anymore. But there was a time where there were like disfellowshippings just like left and right. We had a lot of problems. Some of them, yes, safe, yes, yep, yeah. I had a few very close friends that were disfellowshipped when I was younger. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my family are J Dubs. Yeah, yes, yep, for sure. So yeah, that's it's something that as a Jehovah's Witness, that's why I say, well, all of us did that at one point or another. We all shunned somebody. Um, I remember very clearly there would be, you know, quote unquote apostates at the district conventions with signs and things like that. And, we would hurry up and run into our hotel and you'd be like, oh, apostates, apostates, you know. Safe that I remember, they never like reached out to us, but we did see them and we would just pretty much like keep our distance. That's it. And they would too. So kind of like they knew, right? But yeah, I didn't ever have anybody like so close, like, a brother or something, or someone that was trying to call me or, um, but yeah, we did, we would see people and just kind of avoid them. Yep. That happened. It is what it is. Yep. Just show me that troll to troll. Yep. Exactly. Yep. Trolls gotta pay a fee. Definitely. I used to stand in the blocking line at assemblies. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yep. I remember very clearly there was a placard with the watchtower, and then it had a little window with bars on it, and there was a person inside holding the bars, and it was like get free from watchtower or something like that. So, and that was a long time ago. Yeah, yeah. I know. Yep, yep. The line of defense. Hmm. Gideon and his 300 men. Yeah. Well, yeah. So I said I used to still talk to a person who was DF, and now they don't. Uh, being funny. Yeah, exactly. Jay, so how are you doing, Colin? I'm doing just one day. Anybody watch Dr. K's latest? Pretty awesome. No, I didn't. What was it about? I didn't see that. I didn't see that. Give us a summary. We were warned about apostates when we were leaving the assemblies. We scuttled past them. Shocking. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did too. Yep. You were told just to keep your head down. Don't look at them. Yeah, it's real. I can't believe I never got in trouble back in the day because I would never honor the shunning policy. I would talk to whoever. Yeah, well, that happened to a lot of people. Did that. You saw that a lot actually. Yeah. I knew you were going to ask me Japan's fight and why the board changed the higher education rule. Oh, okay. Yeah, sounds interesting. I'll have to check it out. I haven't seen that recently. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good channel. Yeah. Well, people, I've been on here over an hour already, so I'm gonna hang it up for today. Just wanted to stop on and just say hi and chat a little bit. And so hang in there, everybody, and thank you for coming on and talking and chatting and we'll keep the videos coming. And I wasn't born in '75, but the effects of '75 I felt as a child. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yep. So take care, everybody. And I'll see you in upcoming videos and we'll be seeing you. Okay. Take care, everybody. Have a good rest of your day.